All right, everybody, we're going to go through the uh, Crown Platinum / Crown Gold teams last tournament, which was an 8-game extravaganza at not Boo Williams, but in Virginia. Amazing tournament. You got to play several pool games to get into the brackets, including a showcase game, I believe. And we're just going to take the time to go through this, and then we're going to go through the season. And this team is just the most efficient team in the entire circuit offensively. I'm fully confident in saying that from an offensive perspective. Now, again, there are things the team can't do when it comes to shooting, shot selection, and offense. This team is, I would be incredibly shocked if there were another team that performed as well as this team did. And we're going to look at the stats, we're going to look at the shot charts, and it's really been awesome, like seeing this team throughout the course of the season improve, both from a shot selection perspective and an overall efficiency perspective. And I wonder what the team's going to look like next year, even with a couple of kids back. It'll just be kind of a different look. Remember, this team had no size, literally none. And that translated to no rebounding. And we could have made some changes to maybe help that a little bit, but this team was reliant on nothing but their offensive efficiency. And the results are just remarkable. Now, again, you had 5 wins, 3 losses, whatever. I'm not really as concerned about that. That's a different conversation. Probably could have gone 7-1, maybe, but look at all these teams you played. I mean, every team is bigger than you. Every team is more athletic than you. It's ridiculous. And this was an awesome performance pretty much all season. But let's take a look. Let's just start with we're going to go in order here, just chronologically. First game is going to be the first game against higher level, 78-69. Again, what we're looking for, it's kind of almost silly to say this now with this team, but a 50% effective field goal percentage, 20% turnover rate or worse, and 30% offensive rebound percentage. I mean, look at this. 67% effective field goal percentage, 10% turnover rate, offensive rebound percentage, not bad. I mean, almost 30%. This is just obscene, okay? 17 of 34 from 3. Let's go, okay? But let's take a look at the shot chart first. And again, we got to continue to toggle back. And you can only imagine what these other teams are doing. I mean, the other teams are playing well, but they're just getting right out of the gym because they're getting in a battle with you guys where all we're doing is taking layups and threes, and they're battling us with bad twos. You're just never going to win like that. We'll get to a good example of that as we get down here. So let's, we got to take off the DMV stat. Sorry. Okay. So this was higher level. I mean, he shot 54 shots, of which only 4 were bad twos. I mean, I almost want to cry how good this is. This is exactly the way you win. And this is, and look, we're 3 for 12 from the corner, but who cares? I mean, this is just a perfect shot chart, which leads when you have good talent that can make these shots to just incredible efficiency that literally nobody can beat. And that's what it is. Let's take a look at the box score from this game. And again, we have to keep toggling for some reason. Level. And let's just see who did well. I mean, the answer is everybody, but let's take a look. Roddy, 7 for 11, 6 for 9 from 3. Matt, good addition, 3 of 5 from 3. Ryan, 6 of 9 for 3. And we'll get to what these two guys have been able to accomplish this season, Roddy and Ryan, in a minute, as we get towards the end. But this is just another day at the office, I guess. Chris, really nice game, taking it to the rack, 5 for 10. And yeah, it's not lost on me how important the role players are of this team to make the other things roll, like CJ and Mike and you know, and Jackson. I mean, you need these guys to do the dirty work to open up for everybody else, and you need X to kind of run the show. And there it is with 11 assists. Just this game was amazing. and they put up 80 points. So that's the way it goes. Really, really nice job across the board. Mike, didn't do too much, but who cares? I mean, this was yet another incredible performance by this squad. Okay, let's now go to next game on the in order, the T-Rez Taylor game, where they lost 60. I think it was 59 to 63. Let's take a look. Oh, once again, we have to unclick the other one. So effective field goal percentage. See, it's very rare, but 44% effective field goal percentage. And that's the problem with this team. I mean, they just can't rebound the ball. So if they're not shooting well, they're going to struggle. Their turnover rate was 12%, which is really good. But let's see again, let's drill down a little bit and see if we can't figure this out. So we did have a much better first half, 53% effective field goal percentage compared to 37. But let's take a look at the shot chart. Maybe there's something to break down from this. In this game, T-Rez Taylor. No, I mean, well, no, I have no issues with the shot selection, honestly. I mean, I would rather not have these 5 shots, but not too greedy. Just wasn't making much today in this particular game, and that's just why they lost. I mean, not a really big deal. No issues with the shot chart, and that's why you can't worry about individual games like this. You just have to continue to put yourself in good positions to win. And unfortunately, sometimes the basketball gods don't cooperate. That's just the way it goes. Let's take a look at the individuals in this game. See who struggled. I presume it's Roddy or Ryan. Let's take a look. So no, Ryan was 4 for 9 from 3. That was really strong. Nothing wrong with this, but Ryan was 2 for 7. I mean, it's no big deal. Just one other make, and that would have been fine. Matt was 0 for 3. That was didn't need to see that. Chris 1 for 3. That was fine. I mean, CJ, kind of the usual, 0 for 3. But again, on this team, it's not going to be called upon to score, but he's got to do something a little bit better than this. And that's pretty much it. I mean, nothing particularly bad about this performance, just not quite good enough. I mean, you just need to have 50% effective field goal percentage to win. And yeah, it's Jackson taking 6 shots, maybe could have distributed a little bit more to the better shooters. I don't know. Literally no real complaints, just one of those games. We could talk about how the game ended or whatever it is. That's more of a coaching discussion than a stat discussion. All right, let's take a look now at the New World Gold game. That was, you want to look? We'll look at a clip of that one actually. This was a brutal one. But in any case, statistically, you guys were fine. 52% effective field goal percentage, 16% turnover rate, below 20, and the offensive rebound percentage 15%. That's where it's a trade-off sometimes. That's the struggle. So that's why you ended up losing. But there's really very little you could do about that except to kind of improve the scheme. And maybe we'll talk about that next year when it comes to specific rules for crashing the boards and things like that. But I mean, overall, 8 of 19 from 3. I'm certainly not going to complain about that. Let's take a look at the shot chart here. Yeah, I don't really like the. Oh, that's T-Rez Taylor. Sorry. Sorry about that. Let's look at the World Gold. Nothing really wrong with this. That 10% of your shots inside bad too. Again, I'd love 0, but this is fine. I'm going to actually show the clip at the end of the game. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but the box score of the New World game. Who did poorly? Who did well? Roddy 3 for 4 from 3. Just another day at the office. Well, here I might get mad. They didn't take more shots. How about that? Ryan 4 for 7. Mike doesn't really need to be taking threes. Is this the same game? Matt again 0 for 2. It's disappointing. Jackson 1 for 6. Again, this is not what he's supposed to be doing on this squad. Edwards 4, not bad. I mean, not bad for what he was doing. He wasn't 8 defensive rebounds. You know, that's what he does on this in this group. Chris, not as good of a game as he sometimes could. Xavier was just fine, and we just kind of weren't very crisp down the stretch. Just to kind of show you the last possession of that game. Let me take a look. Brutal. So we're gonna get to it. Hold on. Okay. All the way to the end here, and TP called the timeout. TP called the timeout like right here, and he's literally drawing up the play, right? And he calls it's kind of a version of switch, I think. And I think I'm kind of like going to narrate this. And right now he's probably telling Ryan, just set this freaking screen and set it hard. And Jackson's probably going to be wide open, right? And X, make sure that you look off to the corner and watch for the screen as it's coming. Now, Chris is kind of looking over, and he's like, I love it. I love it. I think it's going to be good. Now, in the postmortem, Tom was actually concerned that Ryan was not going to be able to set the screen. But let's just take a look. So here we go. We're going to have Ryan's going to set the screen on Jackson, and let's just take a look. Uh-oh. The screen is set, and he is literally wide open. X, I love you, buddy, but you got to find this guy. All right, so he ended up throwing it somewhere else for Ryan coming off of that screen. No, that wasn't the look. Anyway, that was the end of that game. So moving on. Bays Hoops against Crown. 80 points. Let's take a look. I know this is a long one, but hey, playing 8 games, you're going to have to deal with all this. Bays Hoops. I only found 78 of the points. Effective field goal percentage, 65%. Turnover rate, 7.9. And who cares about the offensive rebound percentage, only 17, when you put these two numbers up here? I mean, look at this. This is awesome. Let's take a look at the shot chart. Shot chart versus Bays Hoops. Bays Hoops, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 53 shots bad twos leads to what? Good results. I'm telling you, this is standard NBA stuff and standard shot chart theory. And look, if you can, nobody can make anything, then it doesn't matter where you shoot from. But when you have the good players, you've got to strive for 0 in this lane, and you did a great job of it, especially towards down the stretch of the season. And this is why you guys are in every single game, despite having literally no size. So let's pull this up. Bays Hoops, box score. Let's see what we got here. Ryan, 3 for 5 from 3. Roddy, another 4 for 8. Mike, 0 for 4. We don't need just keep you happy, I guess. Take a couple shots. Matt, I don't know. Maybe in a later game, I think he did more, because I do remember him being a little more active in this tournament. I don't know where it came from. Jackson and CJ. This is the distribution. Look at Chris, 8 for 10, all getting to the rim, and 1 for 1 from 3. Beautiful, excellent. X with a very, very useful 4 defensive rebounds, by the way, to go with his 4 assists, 0 turnovers. This is just wonderful. Okay, and that's why you win. And remember, these teams look like they were all like twice your size, and they had athletes, but you just can't get into you can't get into a gun. Don't bring a gun to a knife fight. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. That's what they were doing with you guys. They were bringing knives to your gunfight. They were all the teams you were playing had no idea what they were doing offensively. They were all just settling through these turnaround jump shots and these bad twos and all this stuff. And that's why no one until the very, very last team was able to get the best of you. Okay, next game. Okay, DMV Stags versus Crown Platinum. This is an extremely instructive game. Okay, I'm really looking forward to go over this one. Okay, You got to get rid of this one. I watched almost this entire game. So effective field goal percentage, again, above that threshold, 52%, 16% turnover rate. Offensive rebound percentage is not good, but that's this team. Okay. And you guys were only 8 for 25 from three, but this game is literally a perfect example of all the things that I discussed. Now, this is the opponent. The opponent was 45% effective field goal percentage. Okay. And you guys are 52. This team that you played was really, really good. Okay. Go rewatch this game. This team was so fundamental. They had, watch the first half especially, they had incredible interior passing. You know, it was almost amazing to watch. I was preparing for a text to you guys saying, listen, no shame in losing to these guys. This team, probably the most fundamental team you played all season. Okay. Then this team just went bananas in the second half, or whatever. Their shot selection just went to hell. They ended up getting into a battle with you where they were taking bad twos and you were taking wide open threes, and you just can't win like that, you know. And so they ended up probably went home. They're saying, "How do we lose to these guys?" Oh, you know what? They probably made everything, but you didn't even make everything. You guys just took better shots from a shot selection perspective than they did. So let's take a look at the shot chart of this game. Okay, DMV Stags. I mean, even you guys weren't that great. 3, 4, 6 shots, you know, out of 55. I prefer a few less than this. But overall, I mean, it was I mean, look at these guys. 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 16. Like almost 20% of their shots were not efficient, and that's why you beat them. And that's the way it goes. Let's take a look at you guys won by 8 too. And yeah, you might not have realized this because you said, oh, it's 1 by 8, whatever. That team was good. I'm telling you. They might not have had the best players of the teams that you played, but that team was really, really good. That DMV Stags team. But let's take a look at the box score. See who did whatever. Roddy, for real, 4 for 9 again. I mean, is he always 4 for 9? That can't be. Chris, nice game, including 7 for 7 from the line, 4 for 8. Ryan struggled. He was 3 for 11, but he somehow was 10 for 20 in total. Got to the rim more. You know, this is what you want. You know, and it's nice when you're not getting, you know, not making your threes to be getting to the rim. I would actually prefer him to be a little better around the rim. Jackson 1 for 6, but who cares? CJ, no points. Who cares? You know, I say who cares. I mean, again, this is the way a team is created. These guys, and to some degree Matt, but not as much, and Mike, these guys make it possible for all your efficient scorers. Okay. And this is, you know, even though nobody's really particularly big, everybody just contributed to this without even realizing. Okay. Was it 3 more? We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Crown versus SCE 2023. Where are you? SEC. Another game in the 60s, 62-49. Effective field goal percentage, 60%. Yawn. Just awesome. 17% turnover rate. Very, you know, good enough, below 20. Offensive rebound percentage, you can't rebound. Who cares? You know what I mean? But that's the thing. I mean, because you can't rebound, you have to be a very efficient team, and you guys were, you know, 10 for 24 from 3. Take a look at the shot chart. Okay. 7 shots out of 51. That wasn't even that great inside of the for bad twos. So the shot chart could have improved this game. Let's take a look at and we wait till next season when I'll be demanding 0% of 0 bad twos, because you don't need any. I mean, why bother? You're bad at them. You may as well just take threes. where you have a better percentage in the first place. All right, so box score versus SEC. Ryan 3 for 6 from 3, Roddy 3 for 7 from 3. Who else? Pretty standard across the board, same deal. X had a kind of a poor game, 1 for 5 from 3, 3 for 11 total. But just every game is really starting to look the same with these guys, and this is what consistency is. And you might think that a team that's so reliant on threes isn't consistent, but you are. You shoot enough of them. Yes, you have some variance, but you shoot enough of them, the odds end up working in your favor. They just do. You're not going to win every game, but all you could do is behave efficiently and leave the rest up to the training gods, right? Hope you train well, and the overall, I like to call them basketball gods. Okay, second to last game against Pro Look, 68-60. Another game in the 60s. 65% effective field goal percentage, 20% turnover. What happened? 24% offensive rebound percentage. Again, the usual. Let's take a look at the shot chart. Again, this is versus Pro Look. Only 3 bad twos this whole game. And away we go. Let's take a look at the box score. Again, this is versus Pro Look. And what do we got? Roddy, only 3 for 8. Wow. Still 37% for the day. Ryan, 4 for 9. And the rest, the usual. CJ doesn't shoot all that much here. Chris wasn't really there. X just, not as needed, I suppose. Matt, there's your good game. 6 of 11, 2 for 5 from 3. Excellent job. Okay, so finally, now we get to the finals, and like to say, all good things must come to an end. And what are you going to do? I mean, those guys were just enormous. They were big. They were, they did everything well, pretty much. And you had no shot. But let's just take a look. 48% effective field goal percentage. I mean, in a game like this, you're just gonna, you have to play perfect. And this wasn't your perfect game. He did well from the turnover perspective, only 11% turnovers. Offensive rebound percentage, again, you're going to struggle in this game. As a matter of fact, I mean, you look at the Crown opponents. I mean, they had a 48% effective field goal percent. I mean, offensive rebound percentage in this game. It's kind of tough to win like that, considering they also were pretty efficient, 55%. You just don't, you're just not going to win. I mean, and there's literally nothing. I hate to say this, but there's literally nothing you could have done about it. And I know that's not what you want to hear as coaches, but sometimes, that's just the reality. I literally, you can't complain about the shot chart. Okay, you had 5 floaters. Maybe those could have been better, 1 for 5, but you had good shots. It just wasn't falling for you. Maybe they were contested a little more than some of these other games, but what I found is that doesn't make that much of a difference. Okay. So let's take a look. You had Roddy. Yeah, this is maybe not the best game to go 3 for 10. Ryan was 3 for 6. Mike was just 0 for the day. Matt, did he not play? Only 2 minutes in there. I'm not even sure what this is all about. CJ, the usual. Chris, not as good. So, listen, this is the end of the line. You ran into the team in the finals that had you at every position, pretty much. So that's the way that goes. So let's take a look at the season. This is so good. I can't explain to you how good this is. So we're just going to do it this way. So we have now a 33-game season as a sample. Okay. So we're gonna put it all out there. All right. And first of all, effective field goal percentage 56%, which is just obscene. Okay, for an entire season. This is good competition. Okay. And then take a look at the 3-point field goal percentage for the team. hold on, let's take a look from the team. Totals overall, 3-point field goal percentage from the team is 39.5%. I'm going to stress to you how insane that is in a minute, okay? And compare it to some other teams. Now, when we group these by athlete, I want to show you a couple of more things. So a 3-point, let's look at 3-point field goal percentage. You have Roddy with a 223 sample size, 48.9%. You have Ryan Weiss, who basically shot the exact same number of shots, right? 44%. Not to mention you had Matt at 42%. Okay. I can't stress to you how good this is, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare this to a couple of things, right? So I have this on my computer at home, but I just want to. So what we're going to do is look at the NCAA basketball stats for the different divisions. Okay. So we're going to go individuals D1 for 3-point field goal percentage. 3-point field goal percentage. D1. This is all of D1. Everybody who is tracked. I want you to tell me how many players are over Roddy's 48.9%. 0. Literally 0 or over the 48.9%. That's in all of D1. Okay. Now, just for fun, let's look at D2. Okay. D2, individual 3-point field goal percentage. Okay, there's a D2 guy, Stan Smith from Salem, who's 52%. That's it. Everybody else is below. That was D2, sorry. If you go to D3, individual, 3-point field goal percentage. Who's above him? 0. Now, look, the arc is a little smaller in high school and the defense isn't as good. And you know, and quite honestly, nobody knows how to play defense. They give these threes up like it's going out of style, right? And there's no scouting. But this is obscene. And I tell you this, okay? I can't prove this, but I will bet you as much as you want that you will not find a single team at any level, whether it be AAU, high school, or any college. How about this? That has two guys with 43 and 48% with this type of sample size. Okay. Remember, these guys are shooting like 9 threes a game. Okay. And they have 48 and 43% effective field goal percentage. I mean, 3-point shooting percentage. This is obscene. Okay. And then you take a look at it from overall, right? Look at your 3-point percentage. You're 39.5%. Let's compare the opponents just for the hell of it. Your opponents were 28%. That is an 11% edge. Okay. You have that translates to 5 made threes in excess of your opponent every game. That's a 15-point bump on average before the game even starts. Okay. Now, I want to look at this again. So we have, okay. You were 335 out of 848. Let's go back to this for a second. This is pretty gross. Let's take a look at that 3-point percentages for the team. Okay. Total 3-point field goal percentage for D1. All right. So who's above the 30? What are you guys? 39.5? Who's above 39.5? 2 teams in all of D1. South Dakota State and Colby. That's it. Nobody else is above what you guys were. Now, again, different arc, different situation. Okay, but it is what it is. And I will say something else. That's D1. You want to go for the other divisions? I mean, it's going to be this very similar, I think, right? let's see, 3-point field goal percentage. Okay, you have a couple. Yeah, you got like a handful in that same Salem team. You have a handful that's above, okay, because it's D2 and the defense is in as good or whatever. But you're ahead of like everybody else, okay. And then what's even more, I don't want to say disgusting. I mean, not disgusting, is let's look at and talk about sample sizes. Let's look at 3-pointers made, even just raw 3-pointers made. Okay, 3-point field goals. Not per game. I don't want per game. I want 3 points. Well, actually, let's look at it. D1, you have, these are just numbers made, 400, 401. Let's take a look. 400, 400, whatever it is. And then there's 360. What were you guys? You guys had 335 made. Okay. So there's only about, 10 teams with more than you. And remember, they have 40 minutes to work with. And you have, and you have 32, and they have a shot clock. So what you guys did from the outside with Roddy and Ryan, you will never do it. Okay. And I think you should tweet about this, about these two guys. I mean, this is like obscene. Okay. Now you take a look at the team. All right. Let's take a look at the shot chart. And this is going to be for the entire season. All right. I just want to show you something. So you have total effective field goal percentage of 56%, right? I want to take a look at the bad twos and such. So 1,721 shots, about 140 of them were bad twos. Okay. Yeah, it's good that it's under 10%, but you see why I'm on you about this. You guys were only shooting 44% from these, from these bad twos, and it's only worth 2 points, right? That's why you don't do this. If you want to score an average of at least 1 point per possession, if you got rid of all these and turned these into either paint shots or threes, I mean, think about this. You only shot 4 percentage points worse from here. You know what I mean? Why would you ever shoot these? Okay. But you kept it under 10% and you were extremely efficient. And was just an incredible performance for this team, for any team. So, listen, next year you might end up having a better quote unquote team because you're going to have the bigs along with whatever, and you might not be able to play this way. But given what you guys had, and you might win more games next year. I don't know. We'll see. But you got this team, because of their offensive efficiency, was never out of a game except for this last one, and got all kinds of wins. And it further emphasized all the stuff that I like to talk about with respect to what are good shots and what are bad shots. And look, I never even talked about points per game or rebounds per game or whatever it is. And the good thing also about this team is that while they didn't really like it, I think that everybody did realize at the end what their roles were. And yeah, and again, it's weird to take a liking to this team so much, but I did right at the beginning of the season, this squad, just I knew that this is what was going to happen with these guys. You have two guys like that can shoot like that. Once again, once you put Rowdy in the starting lineup, I mean, there's no way they could guard all these people without doing extensive scouting, and maybe even with extensive scouting. All right, sorry to have put you through this entire lecture on this team. That's it. I'll come back with the other team probably tomorrow.